Second man injured during the attempt on former President Trump's life is now out of the hospital. James Koppenhaver was released from the hospital in Pittsburgh. He was one of two spectators injured at the rally in Butler, Pennsylvania. David Jake Dutch is also home recovering. Retired firefighter Corey Comparator was killed that day shielding his family from the bullets. A bipartisan task force will now investigate that deadly shooting. 7 Republicans, 6 Democrats. They'll have until December 13th to produce a final report. Acting Secret Service Director Ronald Rowe will be testifying tomorrow on Capitol Hill, along with Paul Abate, Deputy Director for the FBI. Here now, former Secret Service agent Chuck Marino. He served as the senior advisor to the Department of Homeland Security. He's also the author of Terrorists on the Border and in Our Country. Welcome back, Chuck. Nice to see you. What do you make of where we are right now in the pursuit of answers on this tragic day?
Well, we're not really any closer, unfortunately, and that needs to change. You've got all these independent investigations going on right now, and I think that's where this independent commission in Congress comes into play. They're going to be able to pull the FBI report, the DHSIG report, the Secret Service report, and the 2 others all together to give the totality of what occurred there. And they'll also give their own independent look, as many Congress people have been taking trips out to Butler, PA, and getting briefed as well. But we need to hear more information from the agency itself, the Secret Service, and that's where they have really, failed from the start on the PR side of things, not participating in press conferences and certainly not giving any information the other day when the former director testified. So that needs to change. They need to be more transparent with the American people, and they need to understand that the American people will drive what's in the public interest. And when you have an attempted assassination of the Republican nominee and a former president, now engaged in the presidential campaign and possibly the next president of the United States, the public wants to know and deserves to know what happened and how this happened.
And why does it feel like pulling teeth to get answers, direct answers from the Secret Service?
Well, this is a perfect example, Marni, of why the American people have lost confidence and trust in the government. Because they don't feel that they're being transparent. They feel that every time there's a screw up, that they're just going to drag this out until the next news cycle, and that it will miraculously just disappear from the headlines. And this is not going to be that case. There needs to be accountability, 1. And 2, the Secret Service needs to come out of this as a stronger agency. You know, they shouldn't be looking at this as the end of the agency. Yes, they're going to take a hit. Yes, it should have never have happened, but I think a lot of people want to make sure that they're in a much better position, both resource-wise, financially, and even where they fall under. There's talk about moving them out of DHS as a possibility. So they need to get on board and understand there's a lot of people that want to help them get better.
And how problematic is it, Chuck, that a lack of transparency, a resistance to be forthcoming about the answers, then fuels conspiracy theories about what happened that day?
Well, you're exactly right. It does. And that's why I've called from the first day that this happened, that look, these investigations, there's no reason why these investigations should not be able to be concluded very quickly. We're talking about one site here of what went wrong, what the security plan was in place, what the coordination was with state and local law enforcement. Let's get to the bottom of it. When you want to look at the systemic issues with the Secret Service, we've got time for that. But in the immediate future here, we need to know how this happened, why it happened, and make sure it never happens again. And that lack of transparency feeds these conspiracy theories, as does when the other day when the FBI director testifies before Congress and says, I don't know if he got hit by a bullet. I don't think that's helpful either. I think that the side commentary needs to stop from these officials, and they need to start fixing their agencies and participating in this investigation so it can be wrapped up.
The other thing we've got going on is the presidential campaign on both sides of the aisle. They're going to be out and about. They're meeting with the public. It's important that they do so, but the Secret Service has advised Trump and his team against holding outdoor rallies, something he's known for, he loves to do. Is that the prudent move at this point, and might that change?
I don't like it, and all of my former colleagues don't like it because it means one of two things: either the former president's lost trust in the confidence in the Secret Service, or the Secret Service has lost confidence in itself.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider, and don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.